Hello, we're live. So good to be here with you, Ingrid Arya. I was thinking I would get to do this Facebook Live earlier, and that just didn't happen for me. I mentioned earlier that I was on my way to a barbecue, celebrating, and just got home now. So I'm so happy to be here with you, and we're going to be talking about, hey Andre, we're going to be talking about yoga, money, and shame. And it really, it literally feels like, maybe this is what it feels like for people that are gay to come out of the closet to talk about something. Hey, Huis, chef, אני לא יודעת אם אני אמרתי את השם שלך נכון, אבל סליחה, אם לא, hello. So it literally feels like, wow, like a coming out in a sense of talking about being in this industry that is all about unity and connecting all parts of yourself and being open to explore everything in your experience. And yet there's this big white elephant in the room when we're, talking about the world of yoga. And I'll tell you, I'll give you an analogy. I remember years ago, decades ago, to date myself, Andrew Weil, who was really the first medical doctor, Western medical doctor, trained Western medicine, who really got into supporting food being the staple of your health. And he said after medical school, going through all of medical school, maybe he was being generous to say that within all of medical school, which is 7 years or so, there was maybe 30 minutes allotted to learning about healthy eating and food's effect on our health. And 2019, what we know, food matters. What you put into your body becomes your body and affects so many things like stress, inflammation, etc., which is really number one causes of disease. So that's what he said. That was decades ago. And so I really feel similar in the sense that I've been through over 1,000 hours of training in the yoga world. Specializing in different aspects of yoga. I have expertise, and within all of these years and these hundreds and thousands of hours of studying, teachers all over the world, top teachers, amazing programs, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, 0 hours allotted to learning about my relationship with money. 0. Maybe in all of that time, I could say there was about an hour or so talking about business. But if you're going to teach a strategy for business and you're not going to realize, let's first talk about what's the essence of business, it's your relationship with money and what's the energy that's being exchanged there, especially with women, with everyone, but especially with women, because there's so much shadow stuff going on there. What's the point, And what I've seen, first of all, I'll be really honest, I've seen it in myself that after I go from one certification, there was a feeling of a lack of shit, I need something else. And so instead of saying, wow, what I need is this fucking money talk, it would be let me go to the next certification. When I realize what the fuck am I doing? Every fucking year it's another certification. I love to learn. I love to be an expert and have expertise and really share that with people. I love also taking things that are so complicated that I've invested years and thousands of dollars and hours and so much energy and love to learning and sharing that with people who might have no idea what it's about, and giving it in a way that it's accessible, right? It's one of my loves. And when I finally, a few years ago, I said, I'm not taking another certification training this year. I'm not learning more about yoga. I'm not learning more about anatomy. I'm not learning more about what's going on in the body and the movement world. I have so much. And if I used freaking even half, 50% of the freaking knowledge and wisdom that I have, where would I be? And so what I said was, I'm going to learn more about business. And so that's what I started to do. Started to learn about business, which really got me into learning about money. And I'll tell you personally, for me, I grew up the granddaughter of an accountant. I helped him when I was a young child to help my beloved grandfather with tax season and I would go to him and, you know, do tons of photocopying and alphabetizing things and organizing, and it was such a joy for me. So I always have that passion and familiarity and comfort around money and numbers and finances, and really finding that we've got to bring this into our work. You know, like, this is the big elephant in the room. You go through yoga trainings, you go through courses, and yet really it's like the asana that no one's teaching, the asana that no one dares to get you into, to explore that part of your body. Hey, Barb. This is the freaking asana, your relationship with money. And no one's getting you into that position because maybe they're scared of what they're going to find in their own space. It's like the basement that we covered up and we built over, and we're not going there anymore. And it's really a travesty, and yet it's also an incredible, amazing time and an opportunity to see that, you know, you can't be a master on the mat and yet an amateur in your marketing. You can't. You can't go to become a yoga teacher and really with your vision of healing the world and supporting humanity and healing themselves. Like, if there were people, think of how good you feel after Shavasana, or how good you feel after helping someone else experience a yoga class where they thought they couldn't do it because they're not flexible, they're beginners, or they have different limitations physically or mentally or whatever it is, and you support them. And after that first class, that feeling, just wow, like cleansed, presence, groundedness, clarity, and you're able to support them in that space. What are you getting in exchange for that? You think that's supposed to be free? Why? What's the problem? You're going to go give your services in any other place? You're a secretary for someone and understanding and saying, okay, I'll do that for free. You're going to give up your services for free without a value for yourself. Where does that come from? So there's something going on in this world of yoga and this world of being a light worker and really supporting people in this freaking epic vision of healing humanity. And really, that's what we're doing here. And yet we're doing it in a really we're not doing it all. That's the truth. So what I want you to know is that the problem isn't actually in your marketing. You're doing all those necessary outward steps correctly. It's needing to learn about the spirituality of money. It's examining your relationship with money and shifting things so that that's in alignment with your mission, your relationship with money. And when you get that in alignment, hey Adi, hey John, when you get that in alignment, then your fucking business is going to be able to bring the fucking healing to humanity that you want it to be. If the curses insult you, I'm so sorry. I come from Brooklyn, and when I get excited about something, I curse. So it's for emphasis. It's not for anger. Okay? So what I want to explore with you, again, like we were saying, 1,000 or so plus hours of yoga training, and 0 of that time was I taught anything about my relationship with money, and yet I'm taking these courses so I can fucking go out and build a yoga business, and I'm not going to have some kind of understanding about my relationship with money and how that's going to be affecting. And what I see is so many of my peers, again, what do? We feel that lack, like we don't have a certain education that we need to be successful in this, in our big vision, and in all the ways, so that it's not just some spiritual feeling that, wow, I'm helping someone else feel whole, I'm helping them heal, and yet what am I'm giving and not recharging. Like, it's not going to work, and you can't really give from a place of love when you're feeling in a place of poverty. You know, we can talk all the abundance we want, but like, if your bank account is in scarcity, or even if you're just closing your month and like that's what your goal is, or if you're giving yourself reasons like, okay, I live in an area where that's what we do, that's the culture, we close our months and we don't think of like building a kind of income that you can live off of and live well off of, then this lack you're not going to fill by getting another certification. You're not going to fill by going somewhere else to learn and deepen your wisdom. You are brilliant already. You have all the gifts you need already. Now you need to get your relationship with money in order. You need to understand the spirituality of money and the spirituality of marketing. And that's not going to come from taking a business program. It's not going to come from reading a book. It's not going to come from taking a business program by someone outside of the industry, because our industry in the yoga world and holistic healing, we speak a different language. It's like when you're around a group of yogis and you can just you're speaking the same lingo, you're speaking the same dialect. And so business trainings and coaches from people outside of this industry aren't going to give you, they're not going to speak your dialect, right? And I'm sure you can feel that. So I'm just going to take a breath here because I get excited. I'm going to drink my tea. It's good. So the question of how do you turn your hustle into your calling? How do you take your craft and really transform it into your calling that nourishes you? And what I'm saying is money is the asana that we're avoiding like the plague. It's like that part of our body. It's like when you see one of your students and they'll tell you about the issues going on in their lives, and you see how that really is held and played out and built into their posture, built into the way they carry themselves. It's clear to you, right? You're like, oh shit, if I could just kind of rearrange things here and open you up there and kind of stabilize you here and let the breath flow and build up your circulation, wow, you'd probably feel amazing and think more clearly and be more living your life and commanding your life than how you feel now. But we can't do other people's, we can't do their paths for them. But if we're coming from that place of being in a certain part of our body and being scared to go somewhere else, like the money part, what are you going to be able to really offer to others? How is that going to really sustain you? And what's scary about it? What's scary about it? That's really what it is. And there's something in the yoga world and the holistic health world and the light workers and new age world of like, we still don't talk about money being necessary and good, or money having a neutral kind of energy, and it's really what we do with it. There's still some kind of like, when you see successful yoga teachers, there's always some kind of mystery of how they make their money. And it's like either they got hooked up with an amazing studio that does their marketing, so we think of it like, oh, it's the kind of business world that is really a different industry than our yoga world, and they get repped. Or we don't know, what is it like? How do they get their money? Does anyone talk about it? Are they selling, is it more advertising, and they're building enterprises around their names? There's such this hush-hush kind of energy around the world of yoga in a business sense. And it's just time to shatter that. It's really just time to shatter that. And that's what I'm here to do. And it feels so good. Like I said, it feels like I'm not gay, but I feel like if I was gay, this is the coming out. This is the coming out. Saying there's an elephant in the room, and now we're going to talk about it. There's no going back anymore. We've identified it. It's the asana now we're going to really workshop. It's the asana now we're really going to move through our whole bodies and see what's being blocked here. What's up with my relationship with energy? What's up with my fear of allowing money to be a positive in my life? What's up with thinking and idealizing, being so fucking spiritual, but like not grounded in the earth? And the earth, root chakra, that's finances. Second chakra, your sacral chakra, that's abundance. That's in Hebrew it would be called shefa. It's an abundant flow. You think it's creativity. If you're just closing your months, or if you're feeling very limited because you have dreams and you want to take your vision to a bigger place, you want to reach more people, you want to reach different kinds of people, but you can't travel because there's not the money for it, or you don't know how to draw your people to you, you're not really giving your gift to the world. You're not sharing your gift to the world. So this is the next step for the yoga world, for sure. Getting right with our money, mastering the spirituality of money, and understanding how important and how special it is to come into a space with a balance of your spirituality and your materiality, okay? If you're into a lifestyle of giving up your belongings, giving up your earthly possessions, and traveling around or being supported by others, do it. Then I'm not speaking to you. But if that doesn't work for you, and you're interested in really living your vision and grounding it into the here and now, and having your own yoga studio, having your own yoga space, or doing retreats, building your own business that nourishes you, that feels like you're giving, that excites you to give even more than your client and student is going to expect because you are being nourished yourself, then this is what's right for you. So like I said, this can't be learned from a book. You can't learn about business and money from someone outside of our industry because it's a different lingo. We speak in a different dialect, and this is the asana that we're going to be exploring now. So I'm super excited to let you know I have happening this summer, it'll be my beta group. My beta group for my online live program. So it's only live, it's nothing pre-recorded. You get me in the live, where we are going again into the not just being a master on your mat, but also being a master of your money. And from that space, getting out of the amateurity of your marketing, getting into a space of drawing your clientele, your students, your real ideal clientele, your big vision dream people into your reality, and being able to offer your vision in a way that is really sustainable. So we want to talk about sustainability, that this is where we're looking at it. So let's take these huge global, international, universal ideas that we have about sustainability, about abundance, and let's really bring them into our lives. Let's not leave them out there in the clouds and in the universe and the galaxy to float around, but show me abundance in your life as a yoga entrepreneur, as a yoga teacher. Show me groundedness so that your dreams can then really soar, right? Because when you're really high, but you're coming from a grounded place, that feels balanced and that feels nourishing and that is attractive energetically. So that will draw your people in to you again. And these are relationships, you with your students, your clientele, these are relationships that are meant to be exciting. You know, your clients aren't victims. Your students aren't victims. They don't depend on you to be healed. They depend on you to be inspired into their greater health and their greater living. And there's a really freaking humongous difference there. And so again, something in this world of yoga that we got to look at, the shadow side of money, and that's connected with the codependency, and that's connected with our fear of just saying outright, I love and I respect money, and I trust myself to really do well with my money, and I understand money is a currency of energy, and there's no way I can give out my best energy and give out my best offerings and get in return something very substandard. I need to match what I'm giving out with what I'm bringing in, and this is the time to do it. This is the time to really heal that divide, because again, yoga is unity, yoga is oneness, it's yoke. So this separation of spirituality and materiality, we got to bring it together and create a whole new creation. Okay, so happening this summer, I have a by invite only remote, so it's online, anywhere you are, anywhere you find yourself, for a short period of time, about 3 months, so for a full season. Shalom Ta'il, Boston. Thank you for joining. So wherever you find yourself, you'll be able to join from your phone, your computer, etc. over the course of a season again, small intimate group, by invite only. If this speaks to you, if you're curious to hear more, send me a DM, we'll book a call, you'll get to know me a little bit, and we'll see if it is the right fit for you. Hello, Danielle. So again, check out this video. This is Yoga, Money, and Shame. It's out of the closet now. It's never going back. And this is where we're healing our yoga by bringing the materiality that is needed, foundation, into the spirituality so that your yoga business, that your yoga teachings can really be nourishing. We're done with exhausted healers. We're done with broke healers. Like I say, broke healers ain't saving the world, okay? This is the asana we gotta explore. This is the asana we're gonna go deep into this year and from here forth. So I gotta hop off now, but it was so much fun, and I'm so happy to have connected with you. I wish you all a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend. And until we meet again.